What is up, guys? It's TH Mostly here, back with another video. It's definitely been a while, but today I'm here to talk to you about what's next in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, I'm a very big fan of the MCU. I've been following for 8 years since I was 10, and now with the release of Doctor Strange kind of spicing things up in the universe, I wanted to talk about what's to come after that. Now, I know Doctor Strange is more of an origin story, more than expand the MCU and him meeting everybody else, which will come in the Infinity War, hopefully. But something that it touched on was the Dark Dimension and just kind of talking to Thor, spoiler warning, and I should probably put that in the beginning of the video, but spoiler warning, if you haven't seen Doctor Strange, pause the video, go watch it, then come back and click on the video again. But in the end of Thor Ragnarok, it's Doctor Strange talking to Thor and kind of just little chit chat, couple of jokes, and just kind of saying that, hey, Loki's on my watch list. What is he doing here in New York? Which is kind of interesting because, I thought Loki was in Asgard sitting on the throne, but instead he's out helping his brother look for Thor. So I don't know if that means that he kind of reveals himself not to be Odin, or if it's just kind of he's still playing along, he's like, oh, well, Odin went missing. I don't know, he talked to me last. But that's something I kind of wanted to touch on. I think that's pretty cool because, Loki's back in New York. We all remember what happened last time he was in New York, and it really didn't end up too well. But other than that, another thing I wanted to touch on in Doctor Strange is the Dark Dimension and whole Dormammu presentation. Now, personally, I really don't know. I didn't really read the comics growing up, but the picture, the incarnation of the Dormammu in the MCU is kind of a little different from what I was expecting due to all the images you look up on Google is a dude that looks like Ghost Rider and leather stuff, except he's huge, which is something I really kind of overlooked when I first saw him. I was like, I don't really know, but then I was like, yeah, he is giant and he still looks cool as shit. And that's something about Doctor Strange I liked a lot, is that I hope I see this in future MCU movies, is that cool presentation and built with the world calling in on each other, and just kind of gives you a little spec what's going to happen with the Infinity Gauntlet when that comes. Because only imagine if fucking Thanos can bend fucking matter at will, which I don't think he can, but I don't know. That's something else. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is our next MCU movie, and that comes out in May 5th of 2017, which is not that far away, which I'm really starting to like Marvel for releasing 3 movies every year instead of 2. But how Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is going to play out, which I hear is going to be more of a feel-good film, just in a sense of how all the characters are connecting with each other and how they're doing and trying to find Star-Lord's true parentage, which I don't know if you guys saw a Twitter thing that James Gunn leaked saying another Easter egg may have been found. I can't really explain it too well because it's really complex. I don't know if it's true, but because he doesn't really say it, just puts a question mark. And it's about how Star-Lord's father is Quasar instead of Ego the Living Planet. Ego the Living Planet is just in the movie to, I feel try to indoctrinate and trick Star-Lord into thinking he's his father. But anyway, just kind of leading into that is sort of a weird character to bring into the MCU, because a lot of people want Nova to come in and kind of bring in that aspect, which I don't really know too much about, but still I think that would be because he's a cool ass looking character. I know he looks cheesy, but there's some concept art, not even concept art, just more of comics that he's been drawn into where he looks like a literal badass. But I don't know, Quasar just seems like an odd character to bring in, even though he kind of plays a big part in the Infinity War, just in a sense of, not the Infinity War, the whole thing about the Infinity War thing that, switching topics, is kind of confusing to me, is that the movie's called Infinity War, but Infinity War really follows the aftermath of Infinity Gauntlet, just in a sense of Adam Warlock, which I hope they introduce, I'll get into that in a second, is his alter ego, Shazam. I think it's Shazam, it's not Shazam. It's somebody, look it up on the internet, but his alter ego comes in and steals the Infinity Gauntlet and just starts going ham, tricking Thanos, has another copy of Thanos. It's really complex, but that's my whole thing, because what this Marvel has been building up to is the Infinity Gauntlet, and I still think they can produce that name without having the Infinity War, because really there's no point, there's not enough characters introduced or developed to really kind of go into the Infinity War right now in the MCU. So it's more of I really feel the name should be changed to Infinity Gauntlet. That's just my personal opinion, but anyway, that's another thing I wanted to switch up on, is Adam Warlock in the MCU. Now I know there's articles saying we're probably not going to introduce him for a while or just at all, but he's a really important character because the Soul Gem, which we're going to be seeing in Thor Ragnarok, I would hope, is where Adam Warlock's living. He's like in the Soul Gem, and he awakens from the Soul Gem once shit starts hitting the fan. And is like, hey, look, I know how to stop Thanos. You're gonna have to listen to me. I know it's best. He like the Silver Surfer comes through, and then Doctor Strange's fucking Sanctum Sanctorum, and then Adam Warlock ends up coming in and is like, hey, like, hi. Like, and then Doctor Strange is, of course, questioning him, and then he fucking does, like, I want to say, like, open your eye shit to him, and he's like, oh, I know, okay, so what are we doing? You know what I mean? So I feel like that's a really important character. I know there's a little Guardians of the Galaxy Easter egg or Thor 2 Easter egg in the after credits of, like, Adam Warlock's cocoon. And I don't really know if that's like, hey, we're going to introduce him, or just like, hey, like, you know this character. But I really hope that they would introduce him as kind of like a offset, like, Spider-Man thing. Like, hey, you didn't see this coming until like the last 3 days before the movie came out. Like, hey, we're bringing Spider-Man in. Like, we told you no the entire time, or we told you we weren't going to, but hey, look at this. And it turns out to be one of the best in-picturements of Spider-Man, even though he's just a tad too young. It really doesn't matter. But I guess just where I want to see the MCU going is on its strong path of character development, which Doctor Strange did very well, even though Caecilius didn't really seem like a developed character in a sense. Like, he's just evil, like, it sort of goes into it like Ancient One drawing Dark Dimension, and like he finds out about that, and he's like, oh shit, well, like, why can't I do that? And it's like, I don't know, like, I feel like there should have been kind of a flash scene or some shit they could have done at the beginning, except the beginning opening where he cuts the dude's head off and tears out the book pages. But, you know, we all don't get what we want, and Marvel kind of is still on that track of the villains they have, even though Caecilius was a little bit better than the fucking Dark Elf from Thor 2, which I really didn't fucking... I didn't like, not that I didn't like Thor 2, it had some badass action, some badass fucking scenery, some badass fucking CGI, but like, its villain was like, dude, I don't give a fuck about this guy. But I found myself caring for Caecilius a tiny bit more just because the actor that played him is a really good dude. And yeah, so I just want to see that go up a little bit, which I feel like they're kind of doing with Thanos. It's like, hey, we suck at having villains, but dude, like, Thanos is going to be the shit because we've been building him up for so long. And like, you already, if you've read any of the comics with him, like, he's like such an evil character that like only lose when he knows it's time to lose. That's the thing about Thanos, is he's so powerful that like he could keep going. Like, he could have kept going with the Infinity Gauntlet to let his guard down. Like, really, he's courting death, and that's like his main objective of everything, is to like die at the end. So that's something that's like I'm looking forward to, and I definitely think Marvel will do right by, just in a sense of his impicturement as Thanos. And yeah, I don't know. I heard that apparently he's going to be courting Halia from Thor Ragnarok, which I don't know. We don't know why yet. Thor Ragnarok's literally a year away, but still, I have faith that it's going to be a great movie, and I have faith that they're going to do right by Thanos. In the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is kind of an iffy thing for me right now, but like, I'm sure they're going to pull through as always, like they always do. Even with Doctor Strange, when I saw the trailers, I was like, I don't know, like, I'm looking forward to it, but I don't really like know, you know what I mean? Just because when it comes to their like build up, like, because there's always the movies like I go see Iron Man, I'm like, fuck yeah, Iron Man. I go see Captain America, I'm like, okay, and then Thor comes out and it's like, you know, like, it could be better. But I don't know, even with all that, like, the movies are still spectacular, just in a sense of its visual effects and its action that it brings to it, and some of the character development that still leads in the eventual build up to the Avengers, and you're like, dude, I still fucking like these guys. So I don't know, but that's it for right now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and leave a description below of what you guys think should be in the MCU. Peace.